The Oiranbuchi Gorge is the most terrifying haunted place in Japan, rooted in the tragedy of a massacre of 55 courtesans. A destination as beautiful as a fairyland, with golden autumn forests, an ancient suspension bridge, and the sound of babbling water, it turns eerily strange when night falls. What's more horrifying is that Oiranbuchi is forbidden for men to approach, while women are also restricted, as they tend to seek their own end there. Why is such a picturesque place like paradise off limits? Could it be related to the vengeful spirits of the 55 courtesans from the massacre? Today, the main covered path leading to Oiranbuchi has been abandoned, overgrown with thick vegetation, and the suspension bridge only adds to its eerie atmosphere. Remaining relics like the bridge abutment near Koshu City and the Tanbayama village signboard attract many locals who visit to shoot videos. Many who visit this supernatural forbidden site admit the surrounding area feels strange even during the day, while braver souls venturing at night find it terrifying. So, what story does Oiranbuchi conceal, and how did it become a place where men are banned? Let's explore the real stories shared by those who visited. Before we dive into the story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive notifications for new videos. Oiranbuchi, also known by other names such as Courtesan Gorge or Abyss of 55, originates from a real tragedy that occurred during the Sengoku period. It was once a waterfall and historical site with a suspension bridge, offering breathtaking scenery in Ikeno's Takahashi, Koshu City, Yamanashi Prefecture, Japan. This location lies on the border between Koshu City and Tanbayama Village, Kitatsuru District, along the old Route 411. Locals refer to Oiranbuchi as Choshi Waterfall, where in autumn the surrounding forest is painted in a distinctive golden hue. In spring, budding greenery blankets the area in a fresh, vibrant green, attracting millions of tourists. Many visitors come to Oiranbuchi to fish in the streams, forage for wild vegetables, hike, or drive to admire the stunning scenery. On sunny days, tourists can even enjoy the fresh and tranquil atmosphere along the quiet mountain roads. However, the beautiful days didn't last long as Oiranbuchi became the site of numerous strange accidents. Inexplicably, many women have come here to end their lives. To prevent mysterious rumors from spreading, coupled with the area's steep terrain and frequent landslides, local authorities closed off the entrance to the covered tunnel, leaving the area abandoned and overgrown with vegetation. Because the old road is blocked off, those curious about Oiranbuchi Gorge can only drive to the area to view it from the outside. But is that really the case, or does Oiranbuchi hide other secrets caused by some supernatural force? In fact, this famous supernatural forbidden site is tied to the horrifying massacre in which 55 courtesans were killed. There are many rumors about this place. Locals whisper that men are forbidden from going to Oiranbuchi due to the resentment of the 55 courtesans' vengeful spirits. Women are also restricted from visiting because they may suddenly feel inexplicable sorrow and seek to end their lives at the suspension bridge. Thus, Oiranbuchi, though as beautiful as a fairyland, is a forbidden location for many Japanese people. To this day, whether the tragedy of the massacre of 55 courtesans at Oiranbuchi is real or just a legend remains a topic of debate. However, based on the small shrine in Tanbayama village, many believe that this is a true story that occurred centuries ago. In ancient Japan, the term oiran referred to courtesans who used their talents and beauty to captivate men. Those of lower status were called YJO, while oiran held the highest rank among courtesans. To spend a night with an oiran, soldiers or samurai had to pay an enormous sum for a single evening. As a result, meeting or sleeping with an oiran was not something every man could afford. In February of the 10th year of the Tensho era, 1582, Oda Nobunaga, who was preparing to unify Japan, sent his army to invade the weakening territory of the Kai Takeda clan. In the face of this situation, Along with the eruption of Mount Asama on Takeda territory, Takeda Katsuyori, the head of the Takeda clan, his life on Mount Tenmoku. The Kai Takeda clan, once invincible in eastern Japan, came to the end of its reign. During the Sengoku period, the Kai Takeda clan's territory was barren, but thanks to the gold mines in the Kurokawa-Kanayama Mountains, the clan grew in strength. The wealth from the Kurokawa gold mines made the Takeda clan prosperous and wealthy, with much of their military funding coming from these mines. After the clan head's death, Takeda descendants devised a terrifying plan to prevent Oda from discovering the location of the gold mines. The remaining members of the Takeda clan wanted to seal off the gold mines that had been exploited for years to ensure their descendants could maintain control. They feared that if the courtesans were left alive, they might reveal the existence of the rich gold mines in the Kurokawa Mountains to Oda, thereby jeopardizing the survival of the Takeda descendants. To accomplish this, the courtesans purchased by the Takeda clan to serve miners, soldiers, and samurai had to be silenced. However, the Takeda clan could not find a legitimate reason to publicly execute these courtesans, so they had to stage an accident. To prevent the courtesans from suspecting the plan, Takeda clan servants revealed that a bonfire party would be held on the Yanagisawa River, inviting 55 courtesans to perform. The Takeda clan constructed a magnificent stage on the Yanagisawa River to host the party. While everyone was dining, the 55 courtesans were invited to sing and dance on the stage to add to the festivities. What the courtesans did not know was that the stage was built on the Yanagisawa River and secured with sturdy jungle vines. During the party, a samurai hiding near the bridge suddenly emerged and cut the vines, causing the entire stage and the 55 performing courtesans to plunge to the bottom of the valley in an instant. The courtesans, dressed in kimonos, lay scattered below with broken limbs, and the entire river and valley were stained red with blood. It is said that the wailing and cries of the 55 courtesans before their deaths were so piercing and haunting that even the samurai were terrified upon hearing them. The site where the courtesans fell became known as Oiranbuchi Gorge, or the Courtesan Gorge, and the Abyss of 55 as a chilling reminder of this horrific tragedy. Since these courtesans were only between 18 and 26 years old at the time of their deaths, they were innocent victims of a political conspiracy. Fearing that the vengeful spirits of the courtesans would return, some members of the Takeda clan built a memorial shrine upstream to suppress their souls. However, the deep resentment of these 55 courtesans seems to have made Oiranbuchi even more mysterious. After the Takeda clan left, the gold mine was abandoned, but was later discovered during the Edo period by the military commander Nagayasu Okubo, who resumed gold mining. Over the centuries, the Kurokawa gold mine gradually ran dry, but its ruins still exist to this day. Some locals have even found gold dust or flakes scattered along the river. Downstream in Tonbayama village, there is a small shrine believed to be the mass grave of the 55 murdered courtesans. In 1909, a wooden statue of a courtesan was discovered inside the shrine. However, the statue was later lost during a massive flood. In 1908, 988 locals rebuilt the shrine to console the souls of the 55 innocent women. Over time, the ghost stories surrounding Oiranbuchi have become increasingly intriguing and captivating. At the end of World War II, as the Japanese Empire gradually weakened, many areas were bombed by American aircraft. Among them, Yamanashi Prefecture, the stronghold of the Kai Takeda clan, was no exception. There is a story that when American military pilots flew over Yamanashi Prefecture, they were astonished to see a group of women in ancient attire dancing on a suspension bridge. What made the pilots feel even stranger was that, despite being at a considerable altitude in their planes, they seemed to hear the women singing. In a mysterious turn of events, these pilots did not drop bombs on Yamanashi Prefecture, and as a result, Oiranbuchi Gorge was preserved to this day. However, the enigma of Oiranbuchi has only grown more captivating with real-life accounts and stories. In March 1992, 3 young women came to the suspension bridge at Oiranbuchi, their lives. Strangely, there was no apparent motive or any message left by the 3 women. No one understood why they suddenly drove from Tokyo, more than 100 kilometers away, to reach this fateful destination. After parking their car, the 3 women changed into luxurious kimonos, walked to the area of the suspension bridge, and then. Although the case had many bizarre aspects, the police could not find any evidence to suggest foul play and were forced to conclude otherwise. A production team from a Japanese supernatural program once visited Oiranbuchi to film and investigate the mysterious phenomena there. However, they found nothing unusual and packed up to leave with disappointment written all over their faces. After returning to the city, the photographer went back to the television station to process the rolls of film he had taken and discovered a strange phenomenon. In the photos he had captured, the silhouettes of women in kimonos appeared, dancing on the water's surface. The entire crew who filmed that day could not explain this mysterious supernatural occurrence. Since the Oiranbuchi suspension bridge is infamous as a site where many have chosen to their lives, local police decided to collaborate with the community to prevent self-harm incidents. The police frequently patrol the Oiranbuchi Valley area, paying special attention to the suspension bridge. On one gloomy afternoon, as 2 police officers and 2 villagers were patrolling the bridge, they suddenly heard singing, echoing from up ahead. A mysterious woman appeared on the bridge, slender in figure, wearing a deep red traditional kimono, with wooden geta clogs, creating a distinct clacking sound with each step. Her long black hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her face, painted in dramatic kabuki-style makeup, only added to her enigmatic presence. The police and villagers slowed their steps, their eyes fixed on the mysterious woman. She leaned against the bridge railing, singing a strange song, her voice echoing throughout the valley. The police were not particularly surprised, as they were accustomed to people coming here to attempt jumping off the bridge. One officer quickly stepped forward, intending to offer her words of comfort, but as he took just a few steps, the woman abruptly stopped singing, turned to face them with an empty gaze, and gave a chilling smile. Before anyone could react, the woman suddenly turned and leapt off the bridge, her faint laughter lingering in the air. The group hurried down to the bottom of Oiranbuchi Gorge, hoping to find the victim. However, despite a thorough search among the rocks and icy waters, they found no trace of a body. While everyone stood puzzled, one person instinctively looked up and pointed toward the suspension bridge. To their astonishment, the woman was once again standing on the bridge, smiling eerily and waving at them. The group immediately rushed back up to the bridge, but when they arrived, the woman had vanished. The air grew unnervingly cold, and suddenly, the haunting sound of kabuki singing reverberated through the valley, mingling with an eerie, chilling laughter. Another story tied to Oiranbuchi comes from first-hand accounts. One time, 2 men decided to bravely explore the Oiranbuchi suspension bridge at midnight. Under the dim light of their flashlight, the surrounding area was so quiet that they could hear every rustle of leaves in the wind. As they approached the small shrine, they noticed something strange. Someone had sprayed red paint onto the stone memorial tower, forming long, jagged streaks. One of the men tried to wipe it off with his hand, but the red paint wouldn't come off. While they were still wondering what had happened, a faint voice suddenly called out for help from the silence. The 2 men looked around in confusion, but couldn't pinpoint where the voice was coming from. As they stood there bewildered, one of the men suddenly felt his hand being yanked forcefully. Startled, he turned around, but there was no one there. Both men's eyes fell on the red streaks on the memorial, which now seemed to glow faintly in the darkness, terrifying them and prompting them to flee. As their car sped down the road, a mournful flute suddenly began to play, echoing through the night. Both men felt a tightness in their chests, their eyes inexplicably welling up with tears, that streamed down their faces for no apparent reason. One of them wiped his tears with his hand, mumbling an apology. "We didn't mean any disrespect. We only wanted to clean off the paint." Fortunately, they managed to escape the area without incident, though the site had been the scene of many strange, unexplainable traffic accidents. Another mysterious incident tied to this haunted location occurred after two men visited Oiranbuchi. As the pair approached the suspension bridge, the air suddenly became unusually cold. One of the men abruptly stopped, his face turning pale, and his body began showing signs of losing control. He started dancing erratically, while strange sounds came from his mouth. These were ancient songs from the Sengoku period, but what terrified his companion even more was that the singing voice wasn't his. It was a woman's voice. Horrified by his friend's bizarre behavior, the other man could only flee in terror. As he ran, he felt as if a group of women in kimonos were chasing him. Too frightened, he didn't dare look back. When he finally stopped, he found himself standing in front of the memorial shrine, which was rumored to be the source of many eerie stories. But the ordeal didn't end there. Less than 2 days later, the man died suddenly and under mysterious circumstances. Investigators later uncovered a shocking truth about the victim. It turned out that he had a history of harassing women, a past he had kept hidden for years. This connection led many to recall the curse of Oiranbuchi, the resting place of 55 vengeful courtesans who were brutally murdered. Locals believe these spirits, filled with deep resentment, have turned their anger into a curse, targeting those who harm or violate women. However, the police dismissed the supernatural explanations and concluded the case as a suicide. In 2023, a story shared on social media quickly captured public attention. The story recounted the terrifying experience of a tourist at Oiranbuchi, known as one of the most haunted places. In 2010, the male tourist and two friends, curious about the ghostly legends surrounding Oiranbuchi, decided to explore the site at night. During the trip, one of the friends happened to take a photo of the hillside using a digital camera. Upon reviewing the images, they noticed dense red lights appearing in the photos, resembling floating red lanterns in the air. Less than a month after returning from their trip to Oiranbuchi, all three of them were involved in a car accident. Although they were fortunate to suffer only minor injuries and no loss of life, they believed the accident was related to their daring venture into the forbidden land. "We used to explore many places, risking danger for thrills. However, Oiranbuchi is the one place I think no one should visit, not even for fun," the tourist cautioned. Another netizen once visited Oiranbuchi seeking thrills. Although he didn't encounter any supernatural events, he was still haunted by the eerie atmosphere of the area upon returning home. A local resident admitted that Oiranbuchi is not a place just anyone can visit. Even during the day, the atmosphere becomes so strange and unsettling that it leaves a lasting impression. Today, Oiranbuchi has been sealed off by authorities, but for men, it remains a place they are strongly advised not to approach. Many people, despite not experiencing any supernatural events, reported a gradual decline in their health after leaving the gorge, as if drained by a mysterious energy field. Oiranbuchi is renowned as the most terrifying haunted location in Japan. Previously, the path leading to the gorge featured a memorial tower dedicated to the Oiran, the courtesans who were murdered. However, this old road was abandoned and completely sealed off after a new ring road was opened in November 2011. The Yamanashi prefectural government decided to permanently close the area to ensure safety and prevent mystical tales from negatively affecting the local community. Now, Oiranbuchi has become an isolated region, devoid of the bustle and noise of thrill seekers. Many believe the area has now become a tranquil haven where the spirits of the Oiran no longer suffer or fear for their safety. In this serene space, they can freely sing and dance amidst birdsong, soft moonlight, and the still waters. Yet, for supernatural explorers, the path to Oiranbuchi has become nothing but a memory. No one can witness the mysterious beauty of Oiranbuchi firsthand anymore. It can only be observed from afar. What are your thoughts on the mysterious story, originating from the tragedy of the 55 murdered courtesans? Share your opinions and reflections in the comments section below.